Alright. So, I'm pretty sure I talked about this before, but my AS's reset button does not work. I don't know if you can see that. No, not really. But my AS's reset button does not work. And I'm pretty sure I've figured out something about it. And the last live stream that I made about my AS, I was looking at where the on and off switch and the reset button plugs into the board. And I thought there was something wrong with that, but there's not. And let me show you that. Because I was going to put this into a video, but I just didn't have enough space, so I decided to just do it in a live stream. So I figured out that if I hold in the reset button, and actually I don't even need to hold in the reset button, but if I connect these three, it resets the console. And I'm going to see somehow if I can get some light to reflect off of the screen. And use this disc. See, I don't know how well that's going to work. See, I can't even get that thing to reflect off of it. Well, let me turn it this way. You can't really see it, but there's some added light right here. So, if you can see that, good. But when I connect these three, hold on. These two. Yeah, you can just hear it start up. I want to see if that one is connecting with metal. Does it? Yeah, see, that turns it off. But the thing is that I found this. If I connect these three and push in the reset button, the light turns off. But if I do the same for any one of the other ones, nothing happens. Real quick. Nothing there. But as you can see, when you connect these three, that one, that one, that one, all at once and touch this, it either turns it off or resets the console. And I got one way of testing that. Right now the console is off. Yeah, it's making a connection, but it's not turning it on. Because if it would turn it off, I would assume it would have the same effect of turning it on. Which means that is probably resetting the console.
Where do I get
which
Crysteel keys?
which takes out my other conclusion of that there's something wrong with the connector. Which means that there's something wrong with maybe a bad trace or maybe a bad chip, something like that. Because keep in mind that the reset button and on and off switch works on every single other console that I have. That's an NES console, which means that's not the switcher. And since we found out that I can reset the console by doing that, that also means that there's nothing wrong with the reset button and on and off switch or the connector, which means that there's something wrong with the board. And I don't even know what's wrong with that board, but what you gonna do about it? Because I don't know. But real quick, let me try to start up Zelda. It was about to start up there. So as you can see, well, as you can hear technically, it's playing the game. And I connect these three, bam. Turns it off and it went back to the white screen. Um, one second, I'm gonna go grab another game. Just come out.
What's this?
This game right here is the only one that makes sound when it turns on. And I forget the reason that I took this out, and right now here, bam, starting up. See, that's why I need something more reliable. I get the feeling that somewhere there's a bad trace on this thing. But then again, that doesn't seem correct because some of my games start up every single time. So, I don't even know. But again, keep in mind that I don't have my hands on the Switch. The Switch is anywhere, as you can see. Now, I want to see. Man, you can hardly see that. One second. Trying to get more light on it. So my left hand's right here, my right hand's right here. No. So now you can see this better. There. That's another thing. So it seems like if I connect this one, that it turns off. But the question is that when I touch that and push in the reset button, it doesn't do anything. It seems as if it needs to make a connection that it cannot make. And let's see here. That turns it off. But my question is that if I touch it to anything, press the reset button, will reset it. But the thing is that two things could be going on here. Because my hands, my left hand is not on the reset button or the on-off button. But the on-off button is pushed in, which means that it should be on. So there could be two things that's going on here. One is that I'm basically shorting the console, which would turn it off, or I'm triggering what the reset button would do, which is also possible. But again, I'm not too sure. And I can't honestly think of anything else. Let's see if I can actually start this up. Another question is that if I connect this, anything else will turn it off. And I'm pretty sure right here there's some capacitor, and I'm making a connection and nothing's happening. Which means that there's something wrong with maybe a chip or possibly a trace, but I'm not going to go into that because mainly I just really don't want to. Well, I'm still trying to figure it out.
I cut that out.
And also, I want to show you something.
That's just as equal, if not worse, than hearing the parade of elves in Pride War.
Thank God. Alright, so where the fuck did I put? Oh, yeah, Alright, so this right here, this is the 72-pin connector that I was using in the console before, but I uploaded a few videos of me trying to fix, well, not really me trying to fix them on video, but me basically making updates of original 72-pin connector that I found, and it actually works. That's what I'm using right now. This is my older one, and this is actually a really good quality 32-pin connector, and again, I'm going to put it down, because whenever I stream on this phone, it gets really laggy. You know, whenever I do something like that, or move around a lot, it gets really laggy. But you know, when it's still, it doesn't lag as much. And this pin connector works sometimes, and I'm going to show you basically what I found. Basically what I found before I fixed the pin connector is that if I had it up like this and it was plugged in, it will be, and I would push it down something like that, then basically turn down the pin connector like that. Well, it's already like that. It would actually work, and that was because one of the pins on the bottom. One of the pins on the bottom actually was not making good contact with the board, so it was not working. And I'm gonna show you this. So as you can see, that's Mario 3.